So this tractor is 1238 Dynamark, which they don't make these anymore. I got this tractor like 5 or 6 years ago, and it's been sitting in here ever since. I've been walking around it and getting sick of it. So I guess I parked it because the deck needed fixing. The thing's actually in pretty darn nice shape yet. So I had this thing charging overnight, and I'm sure the battery's junk, but maybe it'll hold a charge, like a 1-day charge battery, enough to jump start it hopefully. So let's take a look at her, see if she's got any oil left in her before I try and spin her over. Looks like it's been leaking out. It's all kind of oily there. Actually, it's right up. So I wonder if someone had too much oil in it. Huh. Odd. So I got this tractor, and I really never... I cut the grass a couple times with it, and I put it away because the deck was falling apart. Rusted apart, basically. These are very strange tractors to me. They are very light duty. They don't have a real frame. I would call them unibody, like all the newer cars. I mean, they're pressed like sheet metal, but they are pretty darn thick. And the front spindles on these, a lot of people call these Dynamarks Murrays. They were not Murrays. Dynamark used to be its own company. I believe Murray bought them out in the 90s, because the cheap Murray tractors, they all have 1/2-inch spindles that hold the wheels on. And these Dynamarks, they have 5/8, I believe. And the same with the rear wheels. These have 3/4-inch axles, just like the Craftsman's and all the... I don't know. I don't Craftsman's anyways, because I work on these and I got Craftsman's. They have the same transmissions, the same transaxles, 3/4-inch. And the Murrays, the cheap Murray tractors, they have 5/8 rear axles, I believe. I know they're smaller. So these are kind of moderately heavy-duty little machines. And then the engines, everyone I've seen has these industrial commercial engine on them. Synchro balanced. I don't really know what that means, but this is interesting. I just seen on this one, built for professionals for long lasting reliability, cast iron sleeve, and 2-year commercial warranty. Isn't that crazy? A little inexpensive tractor like that. 2-year commercial. You don't see that nowadays. Actually, Noma was the company that made them, I guess. Noma Dynamark. Some, I have seen some are called Nomas and some are called Dynamarks. But let's give this baby a little spin here, and I better check if there's a mouse nest in here. I don't see any feathers sticking out of the sheet metal. I think we're okay. Alright, we'll give her a spin. I'm sure I drained the gas out of it. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Let's see if she turns over. Come on, baby. What? The lights are on. Oh, it's built into the switch on this one. I guess that's the same as my other Dynamark. Lights. And then start. So there's 2 more positions, I guess. Let's try her. Uh-oh. So we're not getting I have good lightage. It's amazing. Usually headlights don't work on these old mowers. The wires have been ripped up and stuff. I guess I'm going to hook the charger up and we'll see what happens then. See if the old Dynamark turns over after sitting. It's probably been sitting 6 or 7 years actually. Still nothing. I'm getting no power. Well, that's a bummer. No power to the starter. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, you know what? I bet you it's a safety switch. I think the one for the seat. Yeah, I think there's 2 safety switches on here. I wonder what year this thing is. I don't know, can you see? Got too much crap in the way. Yeah, I don't know what year it is. Because you never know if anyone's switched the engine, although this has the right type of engine on it. It's usually stamped on the cover, I can feel it. I'll have to look at it closer later. It's too dark in here. Okay, so it's probably a safety switch. The seat is usually for the blades. That safety switch. And how stupid was I? The clutch. There's one underneath for the clutch. So that's kind of a parking brake there. Now she might go. Let's try again. Huh, still nothing. Oh yes, there's a safety switch there. There's a safety switch on the blade. So 1, 2, 3. See, can you see it? Right there, little black box. And it is hanging open because there's no deck connected. Usually there's a spring. I believe that brings it back. So now it might start. Turn over anyway, it ain't gonna start, there's no gas in it. Well, alright, we'll make sure. 1, 2, 3 safety switches. Well, I don't know. We're not getting power to the starter. Could try the screwdriver trick. Uh-oh. Feels like the engine is seized up. Oh boy, I've never seen that happen. That could be why. Why would that be seized up? Shit. It's full of oil too. Why would that seize up? So what I'm gonna have to do is pull this cover off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 little bolts. And then I can grab or put a bar on the flywheel and try and turn her over. Alright, I have concluded that the engine is not seized up. I just was not able to turn it by hand with the cover on this one. So she does turn and she has good compression. There is a lot of dirt and dust and a couple of the holes. Well, there's supposed to be holes. I'm gonna blow it out with the compressor. It was good I took the top off anyways because there could have been a mouse nest in here. You never know. Alright, here's the little presents I found in between the fins here after I blew it out. Little spring, I don't know what that would have been from. And then some kind of clip or something. I guess I'll put them off to the side and keep my eyes open. Let's see if she turns over. Nothing. What's going on? Well, I think I have to clean the contacts on the battery, the terminals. As you can see, the terminals on the battery are very corroded, so I'm not getting many amps or volts through there. And I'm sure this battery is pooched also. Let's try this again. Now that our connections are all cleaned up. Let's Still nothing. Oh, maybe it's that. Aha! It's that safety switch down here for the blade. I thought. She turns. Battery must not have any amps. Darn it. Try jump starting it. More amperage. Should do the trick. Come on, baby. Boy, this thing does not sound good. Let's see if she starts up today. We're gonna have to pull the gosh darn carb off. Alright. Oh, this gas stinks. Thank you, ethanol. Yep. Typical green black. Oh, it stinks bad. Oh yeah, that's just beautiful. I wonder if my parts washer, my ultrasonic cleaner, is even going to clean that up. Oh, it's hard. Oh, that's really bad. Doesn't feel like the needle valve is stuck in there. That's a plus. I think I'm going to need a hammer to tap it. Oh. Fucking A. Come on. Oh. It's stuck. Oh man, this is a bad one. I'm gonna have to boil the whole carb. The gas line is gum also. Surprised this one has a brass float bowl. My other Dynamark has a plastic one. So this one must be a little older than my other Dynamark. This is just terrible. So I'm gonna have to take the carburetor off. That sucks. The needle valve is literally stuck, seized, rusted, whatever you want to call it, in the carburetor. Only way to get this thing running is to boil the whole carburetor, because that thing's gummed up totally. Pretty simple to engine to work on anyways. Just one bolt I think holds. This is even a little bit different design, huh? Kind of projects into the engine. Other ones were not like that. And to get the carburetor off, I'm gonna have to drain the gas. Just a little spring clamp. I don't know if you can see that, but this whole fuel line is gummed up. Pinched the fuel off so I could work on it, and it is just gummy garbage. The muffler shield has to come off. It's got these little tabs on it. You just gotta, that's just so they kind of act as a rock washer so you doesn't fall off from all the vibrations on the mower. Just gotta bend them back a little bit. It's like a 1/2-inch wrench. Ooh, that one's a little rusty. Ooh. Don't break. If that breaks, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna work it back and forth. Come on. Take my time. Don't want to break it off. Forward, reverse. The carburetor is held on with 2 bolts, 3 actually. One's like a little 5/16. Screwdriver just happens to be the right size. And then there's 2 main bolts that hold it on. They are Torx. You can't even get a ratchet on it or a socket on it because they're so tight. You have to use a Torx wrench. They're usually not too tight on the carburetor. Came easy. It should come off. We'll have a little crankcase breather. Good, it didn't break. A lot of times those are decomposing. Just turn them and they come off. And this one has tiny little wire on it also towards the front of the carburetor. Tiny, must be stainless steel. I think that's just a spring. Yeah, it's just a small spring. I'm gonna have a tough time getting this needle valve out. I don't know why we're focusing. We'll stick her in the parts washer and hopefully this drops out. Alright, got my new gasket installed. There's the old one. Wasn't gonna do too much good. I always forget whether you install these gaskets. They don't always have letters printed on them, but some do. This one does. I think you put them on the outside. I think there's a waxy protective coating. Got the carb all cleaned up out of my ultrasonic cleaner. And she's ready to go. And this float should be parallel to the carburetor, and this one looks pretty darn good. So, no adjustments needed. If you do need to adjust them, I believe a little tab on the bottom of the float is what you bend. Alright, I'm putting in my main. I don't know which one's the main jet. I think that's the main jet. But there's 2 parts to it. Snug, don't over tighten it, otherwise if you have to do this again you'll never get it apart. It's just a brass screw. It's not working, so I guess you have to put the top one in first. I don't know why that would matter. Shouldn't. And this, presetting these, seems like most carburetors are 2.5 turns. Then you can start it up and then fine tune it. So half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. And this bottom piece should fit in. And there she goes. And this one you screw in all the way. Not too tight, snug. It's only brass. That little pin, the bowl holds it in place. And there's a little aluminum washer. I think it would be plastic or something softer than aluminum. This one is a 1/2 inch, or 13 millimeter should be the same. Snug, don't over tighten it. You can always tighten it up if gas is leaking out. These are aluminum parts. It could strip fairly easy. Now reassemble. Oh, I got that stupid bracket to screw on. Don't forget your crankcase breather. Hook up the governor. Don't forget the tiny little spring. Little levers for your choke. You gotta make sure it's lined up in the mechanism. There's 2 little slots. 2 little torque screws. A little stiff, but everything looks good. Had to give that some WD-40 throttle cable. Once again, don't He-Man these. Don't forget your little spacer, or that's actually a rubber gasket, I guess, for the carburetor. Make sure your linkage works. It just kind of slides on. Like that. Air cleaner. One bolt, one very small bolt, and your large main bolt. The little threaded end goes in the carburetor. Really tighten that one up right. I need a vice grip. Don't grab the threads. An air cleaner. Don't believe it matters which. Oh yeah, it does matter. 2 screws. You got 2 pre-screws. I don't know why they do that. Air cleaner. This one's actually metal. Most of them are plastic. Now we can finally put the muffler back on. Don't forget your gasket. Lost the bolt. And make sure you don't forget this heat shield. You need that. Half-inch wrench. Re-bend your tabs so you don't lose your muffler. Moment of truth. A little gas. Got to put a clamp on. Tighten up the bowl a little bit more. Come on, baby. Give her a little choke. That wasn't choke. Well, why not? Smells flooded, so no choke. Go. Flooded. Didn't even smoke a puff. Wow. That's the safety switch for the deck.
She's running.